Mark Camoccio, Gun Mart TV, and we're going to show you one of the air gun technology range, which surprisingly we've not actually reviewed before, which I certainly showed on a video. So yeah, I was quite keen to get hold of one of these. This is the AGT, which is the way they sort of market it, AGT air gun technology Vulcan 2. And it comes in this very attractive case, so it's sort of a package deal. So you get this padded case, that all unzips around. I mean, to be honest, you could actually use this as sort of a shooting mat as well if you're in the field. You didn't mind getting it all dirty, but that crossed my mind while I was doing the test on this. Anyway, you get the nice case like that. Obviously you've got straps that hold it all in place, etc. Now I have put quite a sizable scope on here, and you just about get away with it, but it's slightly irritating, and it's not quite, you know, you're going to have a certain configurations with certain scopes, and you're going to find they won't easily go back into the case, which is a little bit annoying. They could have made it just that little bit deeper. I'm nitpicking, it's still nice to get it with the gun. Having said that, these are pretty pricey, so you know, it's all factored in. I mean, this at the moment, these are between 1,600 and 1,700 quid, which is quite a lot of money. What you're getting with it, box of goodies here. You get an instruction manual, not the best instruction manual I have to say, because it didn't even cover filling the magazine or charging the gun, which is pretty surprising on a PCP, but hey. Inside the here you get two of these magazines. We've got one on the go here, but you get two of the magazines, spare seals, and then you get a pen if you're interested. But also what's interesting is you get this charging assembly, and it sort of flies in the face of what everyone else is normally providing, because you normally just get your adapter there and you've got to go your own way, screw it all on into place. This all comes as this assembly, and I have to say, I mean, I've got a diver's bottle I use for some more problematic guns at home. Most of the time I'm using the pump, but if you've got a diving, most people I suspect are probably using diver's bottles on PCPs, and all you do on the diver's bottle, there's a main junction there, you'll see the side thread, you just unscrew your cable, and then this will then screw directly into your bottle. I have to say, I've used this to charge this several times on test. It's really nicely made and it works a treat, so that's quite a nice addition. As I say, they could have done with better instructions, because obviously if I hadn't been so, I played around with so many PCPs over the years, you'd be floundering as to what you're doing. So we see what this comes with as a rifle. Now AGT, Air Gun Technology, they're actually in the Czech Republic, so unsurprisingly this has got a CZ barrel on it, and yes, obviously it makes sense that they're utilising that, which is a quality barrel obviously. Now it's the Bullpup configuration, and this, as I say, this Vulcan 2 is it's a Bullpup, so the action's right to the back, but as you can see here, it's quite a sizable cylinder, but it is a cylinder design. Various people have talked about all the upgrades that have gone into the Vulcan 3, but it's not as simple as that. That's a different model. Basically that is a buddy bottle fed model. This is the cylinder, and I mean, personally I'd go for cylinder every time, but over the buddy bottle, just personal taste. But yeah, it's sort of an oversized cylinder, so you've got quite big, you know, the capacity on this is a 290cc tank, so you've got quite good residual pressure there. The fill pressure's unusually high as well, that's 250 bar, so obviously you're going to get a lot of shots. Now looking at the front, so shrouded barrel, then you've got there's a thread, a knurled cover that's then covering the fact that it's a threaded muzzle. That's slightly irritating because it's not a 1/2 inch UNF, it's a 14mm, so you've got to source silencers that will be compatible. Obviously AGT will do their own as well, that's part of the reason they do it. Then you can see a manometer fitted at the front, dodgy spot, but most of them are doing it. You can see the filling dust cover, the revolving dust cover, which is nice and smooth on the valve, and that probe assembly that we showed you earlier, that'll push fit in there, and it's a really nice fit on this. A lot of guns, it can be quite sloppy, and it's always a bit unnerving because we're dealing with high pressure air, so you want it to locate nice and firmly with precision, and that's what you get with this. It all works well. It's a properly sort of constructed design. Moving back, then you can see you've got Picatinny rail on the sort of intermount style because of the Bullpup configuration. Now if you look closely, you can see there's a split there. This is that whole side plate smart side plate there is removable, and the idea being that you can switch, although at the moment we've got the side lever mounted on the left, which is just a little bit annoying if you're right-handed, I find, but of course you can switch it all over, so it's designed to be switched left to right, which is a great feature. Now you've got 2 magazines and they will slot into here, we'll show you that in a minute. A walnut stock, quite pleasant checkering up front, and that thumb hole configuration with a sort of palm shelf all designed in. I've got large hands, but that all fits really nicely, fits well, and in the aim I'm not too far. Obviously we've highlighted in other guns where it's compact and you've got the danger of being near the muzzle, but there's none of that with this, and on my reach that's pretty good. So yeah, it's comfortable, it points really well. You've got an in-guard safety catch there, 2-stage trigger, which is very nice in use. Moving further back, obviously they've got a skeleton sort of cut out here just to lose weight really, but it's quite an interesting profile. Magazine aperture, and then you can see here you've got an adjustable butt pad as well, so all done on a nice concave, really usable, practical concave shape there. So quite a lot of design that's gone into this. Magazine wise, you've got it's a 15 shot, as I say, it utilises their own style of magazine. It's not the best magazine system, I've got to be honest. Other systems out there that are that bit smoother in the sort of cycling, cocking cycle, etc., but works well enough. We've filled some of this magazine. The system is you don't need to pre-tension it. What you're doing is just applying pressure to that inner drum, pushing it to the left, and then dropping a pellet in. We've already filled nearly all of it, so you're just pulling it to the next chamber and then dropping a pellet in and making sure you stop it with your finger so it doesn't fall all the way through. It's a little bit fiddly, as I say. It's not as straightforward and as precise as some other magazine designs, but that's what they've given us. So you're dropping a pellet in, and say all the time you're stopping it falling right the way through. So it's a little bit fiddly, and for me a little bit annoying compared to some. But one more and then we're done. Right, now that's now full. That's 15 shots because it's 177, and then it's 12 in 2.2 and 10 in, I think it's 2.5 caliber. Now with this, as I say, it's 250 bar fill on the gun. Now 240 shots. It's a regulated action. All those were within 28 feet per second. That's pretty good. I mean, it's not a stunning figure, but over 240 shots, that's pretty damn good. And that's with pellets straight out the tin. So again, you know, the potential with this is pretty impressive. Now, once you can see the cutout on that magazine, and that's going to slide in from the left-hand side. So I'll just cock the action, and then that then slots in. There's a nice positive feel to that. You can hear that, really positive. And shut the lever and you're away. When I first put the mag in, occasionally with certain pellets, it's been a little bit sticky, and that was a bit of an irritation. But once you get going, and again you can find the best pellet, do a bit of trial with it, and you know, as usual, you want to do your own testing and get that push the potential of it. Right, we're just going to cycle the system and fire a few shots. Now you can see there, it's as far. I mean, I'm right-handed, but because of the balance, because it is bullpup balance, it's just perfectly balancing, and then I'm just cycling that with my left hand. Ideally, I mean, if this was my gun, I'd switch the lever over to the right, which I say you can do, which is brilliant, and then it would be that bit. You know, then you could do the cycling in situ from the shoulder that bit more easily. But either way, it's the cycling's brilliantly smooth once you get going. So yeah, there's a lot going for these. So they're not cheap, but it's become quite a popular make now. Currently brought in by Edgar Brothers. That's the AGT Vulcan 2.